and I'll explain that in a minute. But what I did was I had a movie scope, which is about the most primitive piece of editing equipment you can have, and it's a tabletop viewer, and when you crank the film through it, the sprocket holes turn, engage the teeth in the viewer, and that turns the prism, which produces an intermittent image, but the quality of the optics is very, very low. And until I saw the finished film projected, there were things there were shots that I didn't know what was in the shots, because I just couldn't see what was in them. For example, there's the shot where these hands pull a drawer of what looks like broiled chickens out of a stove. I didn't know what was in that shot until I saw the film projected. But I had included the shot not really knowing. Because cranking at the rate at which you see a film projected is hard for me to do, at least. I didn't know until I saw the finished film that the sand is flowing through the hourglass faster than normal. I hope that doesn't shock you. I hope that, on the contrary, it confirms what, in principle, I would say is my indifference to what is in the shot. I say in principle. So I could not, I mean, I handled pieces of film. I would get these odd reels in the mail, and then I would look through them, and then I would cut the shots out, and I would roll them up and label them, and I did the editing on, not editing, whoops, the constructing on paper, in that I had a list of the shots giving the information I needed to assign the shots to their place in the construction. And it was a matter of looking at this on paper. Now,
what do you mean on paper?
it just had to do with lists. And the list didn't concern itself with what was happening in the shot. Now, you understand that I am very reluctant to make the kind of decisions that, on the contrary, many artists embrace as their prerogative. And so I had to make two decisions. There are two general decisions. One was how long to make the film. I could have made it any length, as long as there was like more than, what, I don't know, 6 or 7 shots, 8 shots, 10 shots. So I had to decide how long to make it, and I had to choose the shots. And I thought 10 minutes or thereabouts was too short, and I thought half an hour was too long, and then I thought about things in between, and then I came up with this. And it was a matter of, yeah, I had to decide how long to make it, and it made me, I didn't like that. It could have been another length. And I'll say this to be polemical, it could be 100 years long, and it would be the same film if it followed the same organizing principle. There'd be a lot more shots, but if they're inserts or inserts-like, and it's the same principle, it's the same film. So what I mean to say by this is a film that offers a possibility of having an identity irrespective of what you see in it, which I hope strikes you as a disturbing proposition. And does someone else have another question? Because as I'm talking, I'm sort of thinking of other things I can say. But if someone else wants to ask a question, I'll stop.
You mentioned earlier that you called your films non-films. Do you consider your films films or non-films?
Did I say they were non-film?
You said that word earlier. Maybe
Are you sure?
No, that is no.
I think you were perhaps referring to your painting to other.
Right, he said he
other
did
media.
films and non-films. He didn't call films non-films.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I stand corrected.
It's just that there's also work that isn't paintings.
What's that?
There's also work that isn't paintings, but I don't know how to describe it. So it's films and non-films.
There's a second film about the steels.
Yeah.
Okay, this is my impression. It was a film which actually didn't exist. In other words, the steels which you have changing, they are signifying certain process going on and trying to figure out the process of taking the shots in Polaroid, pinning them down, and there is underneath actually the whole procedure which started before you turn the camera on and ended. It was going on after you actually shut the camera on. It would be accurate about that, what you call this abstraction, because you said it was non-representative film, it was certain abstraction. So I can see this, underneath the actual, what you showed us.
I'm not sure I understand the question, but to the extent that I do, I'm delighted to hear what you have to say, and I love the idea of it being, what was your phrase, a film that doesn't exist?
Yes, the film actually which was never shown. I've seen it, something which was never actually seen on the on a celluloid or whatever.
I think that makes me very happy. As I say, to the extent that I understand it. But maybe we could talk about it more later, because I don't want to be embarrassed by not understanding things in public, at least. More questions?
I'm curious as to what the rule was for the last film.
It doesn't make any difference.
Right. I know, and if it's a case of, if it doesn't make any difference to the point that you don't want to tell it, that's, of course, completely fine. But I am very curious, especially in light of the discussions we had with the other films in which we talked a lot about the rules. So now all of a sudden there's one that, for the people that were in the class and saw the two previous ones,
Yeah.
it feels a lot different. There's a lot more edits or constructs. So I'm curious about it, but if you don't want to say that, the magician's right.
It won't help, trust me. He'll say, oh, is that all? No, honest, trust me. You'll be disappointed. I'm not, please don't think I'm being coy.
No, I know.
Okay.
But I also don't, I don't think it would be coy. But I don't believe you that it wouldn't interest me in terms of how it relates to, maybe not in terms of my viewing of the film, but it does interest me what are possible solutions for arranging, something that has an image and you're trying to find a way to arrange it, like generating a kind of, that interests me, generating a system in which you don't make the decision is not, seems to me like I can't imagine a way in which it was done. So in that way it is. But I'm not trying to pressure you to...
Benjamin, if you put yourself in my shoes, you have this bunch of stuff and you don't want to have to take responsibility for the order in which the shots occur as the maker of a film ordinarily would. It will come to you. You would find a way. Trust me. And it would be just as legitimate as mine. In fact, you might come to the very device that I found to organize the film for me, to construct it. That's it?
All right.
Thank you very much.
I know it's late, but I need just 3 minutes of your time. We have the just brief